attempting to sow.
I want to talk a little bit about the dichotomy that we're seeing in this country, because this morning, former DNI Dan Coats, a Republican, we should note, wrote an op-ed calling on Congress to create a supremely high-level bipartisan and nonpartisan commission to oversee the election, to give Americans confidence in the outcome of it. Meanwhile, Senator Ron Johnson held a closed-door hearing targeting Joe Biden and another Trump ally, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham, saying that he will have former FBI Director James Comey testify on the Mueller probe on the day after the first presidential debate. So my question to you, Congresswoman, is this: can we get back to a more balanced, cooperative approach to intelligence the way that Dan Coats is suggesting? Is that even possible in this current Congress?
Well, I don't think it's possible in this current Congress. I read his editorial. I think it's wonderful. I think it's a wonderful idea. I would add to it that I frankly think we need international observers for this election. I have gone to Kenya. I've gone to Zimbabwe. I have been an international observer, and I think we could use that here. So I support what it is in his opinion, but I don't believe that we can do that right now because you have one party that doesn't want people to have access to vote. I think they've been very clear about that. And again, I would just cite the example of the post office. And so they're always talking about voter fraud. And you know, in 2018, the most notorious case of voter fraud came from Republicans. They established a commission around voter fraud. They found it really didn't exist. The commission fell apart. And so all of these tactics, in my opinion, are just 2020 versions of voter suppression.
So to this point, do you feel that we are going to have a free and fair election? I mean, you're talking about international observers and election monitors here in the United States. We know European countries have expressed concern about the process. How do you feel about the process ahead of the election?
Well, first of all, at the end of the day, I think that the ball is in the court of the activists and the organizers. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that people know how to vote. And this is the first year that I can recall where you actually you shouldn't think of voting as November 3rd. You need to start voting as soon as early voting begins. Right. You need to vote at home. You need to send it in early because now we know we can't depend on the post office. So we actually need to have a plan to vote across the country because every state is different. And I think that that is sad. So I think unless we acted proactively and were aggressive about it, I don't think that this would be a fair election. They're making every effort possible. He is so desperate to win, and he knows he's losing in the polls. And so out of his desperation, he is attempting every possible roadblock to win. It's really sad.
Let me just switch gears.